if we go back to October the 7th, when this all began, could you just give an insight as to what exactly happened in that? What was Hamas trying to achieve? Was it, for example, trying to scupper Israeli and Saudi peace talks, or is there something more to it? Could you just give us an idea of what was happening then?
Look, there are, first of all, we tend to attribute great wisdom to terror organizations which actually don't exist. You know, I mean, to be a terrorist, you have to be a serious psycho to begin with, right? I mean, there has to be something fundamentally wrong with your upbringing, either child abuse or whatever, or societal abuse or something like that, or I don't know, something epigenetic or something genetic to end up like that, number one. But terror organizations, for organizational reasons, are incapable of thinking through their actions or the consequences of their actions. We've seen this time and time again. There's a reason for it. You know, if a government wants to think through something, it has foreign ministries and embassies. You know, so assume I am the government of India. I want to attack Anandi Shah. And, you know, I say I want to come and kill you, Anandi. Okay. Uh, I will then ask and assume I'm the prime minister. I will first ask first I'll ask the defense minister, give me a plan to kill Anandi. Okay. Then, because of bureaucratic reasons, that note will go to the finance minister and it will go to the external affairs minister. Immediately, the external affairs minister will contact their ambassador in London. And Vikram Doraiswamy in London will say, no, 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 please don't do this because Anandi Shah is an important member of the community. And if you have her blown up, you know, the British government will impose sanctions on you. And the moment this sanctions note comes, then the finance minister gets agitated and she says, the industry minister gets involved and he's like, no, 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 we can't afford to lose Rolls Royce engines from Britain, so you can't do this. And then the finance ministry says, look, there's all these international sanctions that are going to come into play and you can't do this. So there is a natural organizational check and balance which makes your analysis completely interdisciplinary and imposes lots of restrictions on you. It imposes reality checks on you. A terror organization by its very nature does not have that kind of uh, interdisciplinary analysis. They're very focused on terror and political goals to the exclusion of economics, to the exclusion of international relations, because, of course, nobody recognizes them internationally. Nobody is going to give them an honest assessment. When I want to kill you, for example, Vikram Doraiswamy will go talk to the Foreign Office or whatever and find out, you know, if he kill a British citizen, how are you going to react? Uh, they can't do that. They can't have those conversations, right? Nobody's even going to entertain them. They tend to be very self-referential. They tend to live in an echo chamber that is self-reinforcing, and so they can't think beyond their actions. So, you know, I think it's very um, first. I think it's very, very uh, problematic to assume they thought through the consequences of their actions, or that they even thought through the timing of the actions. Because what we found is very frequently terror actions, even when at the behest of a state actor occur, do not think through consequences. So, for example, when Pakistan carried out the attack on the Indian parliament, did they think through what was going to happen down the line? No. They were just thinking through the glory of the attack, the shock that they were going to create to the Indian state. Same with the Mumbai attacks. Did the Taliban, for example, force Al Qaeda to think through the actions of 9/11? No. Right. And Kargil, especially, imagine the Prime Minister of Pakistan being forced to Washington, D.C. to crawl on all fours and beg for a ceasefire. Right. So now we come to stage two, which is, let us assume that this was done to stop the the IMEC corridor, the India, Middle East, Europe corridor, or it was done to prevent the Saudi-Israel peace deal from fructifying, which would be essentially, the notion that Hamas was acting at the behest of Qatar or Iran or something like that. Okay, so we first dealt with if Hamas was acting by itself. Now let's deal with if it was acting as a patsy for somebody else. The problem there again becomes that, if it was acting as a patsy for somebody else, did they actually think through what happens now? Because if the escalation we spoke about, going after Hezbollah, etc., happens, nobody is happier than Saudi Arabia if Israel destroys Hezbollah in addition to Hamas. Nobody is happier if Israel destroys Hamas, which is a significant recipient of Iranian weapons, than the Saudis. So, I don't think they've thought those things through either. And I don't think Iran's influence on Hamas has also thought through the consequences of its actions.
So long and short of it is that you're saying that there has been no underlying agenda behind the attack in the way that
If
others
there,
perceive.
if there has been an agenda, say, to cancel the IMEC corridor, no. I personally feel that the Saudi-Israeli relationship will only be strengthened as a result of this, not publicly, but in private.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.